Hi. So on March 16, Microsoft had a launch event for Copilot in Microsoft Office 365. But it was much more than just an integration of GPT-4 and ChatGPT functionalities in all the Office application. It is the reinvention of the Microsoft ecosystem that is used by billions across the world. In short, Microsoft introduced a new way to orchestrate and create content using all the information that you and your organization have ever generated in the Microsoft ecosystems of solutions. So everything starts in one of the Office applications, Word, PowerPoint, Excel, etc. And once the user is in the application, they start with a prompt, which is refined with a process called grounding, which to me sounds very much like prompt engineering. It then queries the Microsoft graph, and then the large language model, in this case, GPT-4, and it is used to create content. So let's see what it looks like in action. Microsoft released a number of product demo, and they're all mighty impressive, so I extracted a few clips, and we'll start with Excel. In this clip, it is now possible to automatize analysis of data as the system to create predictive models and even explain step-by-step what assumptions are used in the model.
You ask Copilot to visualize what contributed to the decline in sales growth this period. Copilot adds a little color to make the problem jump off the page. Now, you want to dig deeper and ask a follow-up question. Copilot not only answers your question, it creates a simple model of the scenario. And it even asks you if you want to learn more about what it did with a step-by-step breakdown. Finally, you can ask it to create a graph of your projected model. Copilot turned a sea of data into clear insights and actions.
To me, it sounds like the end of pivot table, which is not necessarily a bad thing. What does that look like in PowerPoint? Well, here again, it's pretty impressive. It all starts with a short brief of what the presentation is about and what should be the tone. In addition, it will use other relevant documents that are stored in the Microsoft environment, like pictures, videos, you name it. With all that, you get a pretty impressive presentation in just a few seconds.
I kick things off with Copilot, providing a little information to get started. I add some details about my daughter. I can also change the style so it creates something fun and festive. And Copilot goes to work, finding the right words and searching my OneDrive for the best photos. In seconds, Copilot generates a beautiful presentation with memories, accomplishments, and advice for the future. I can add my own personal touches to it, and Copilot will be at my side. Now, let's look at this slide. I'm really happy with the design, but Copilot didn't quite have what it needed, so I'm going to rework the text. I can then ask Copilot to make it more concise and add images. Okay, now that looks great. On this next slide, there's a part that Copilot didn't quite get right, so I'll rewrite it so that it sounds a little bit more like me. I also want to use a different image here, so I'll just tell Copilot what I want, and Copilot will find it. I can add transitions between the slides, which I always forget, so that when I play the presentation, it looks really polished. Okay, I like how that turned out.
And last but not least, an example using Word. So one of the applications together with PowerPoint and Office where I spend like 90% of my time. So the following demo is about a customer proposal where the draft is generated using notes from a previous customer's meeting, the product roadmap, and even a previous proposal so that the new one follows the same style and template. Have a look at this.
Copilot can use your customer notes in OneNote as well as another internal document. Copilot quickly creates a first draft. Now, you probably want this to look like your previous proposals. Copilot can give you a draft in the format you typically use. It inserts product images and pulls in relevant visuals from other files. You can even include a short summary at the top of the document. And Copilot can make suggestions to strengthen the proposal, like adding an FAQ, which it will generate for you.
I have to admit that I have rarely been so impressed by a product demo. It kind of looks like Iron Man and Jarvis minus the fancy 3D interface. But how far is that too? So now the big question, what's left to us? Some might argue that this is the death of intelligence and creativity. And I will argue exactly the opposite. It is the end of the writer's block syndrome, of the white page syndrome. As we've seen time and time again in sci-fi movies, the super AI assistant doesn't do everything, but it's a super smart, omniscient sparring partner. You still have to do all the thinking, but you have someone to do it with you, alongside you.
Mark the pavilions red. Yeah, that's good. Let's do some color coding. Color code every causeway, footpath, tram, restroom, waffle, shack, everything. And anything with a concrete wall. Ah. Uh-huh.
And I will argue that, used correctly, this will unleash unprecedented creativity and productivity. But used correctly is the main thing. People will need to learn to use those tools and not outsource everything to them. Otherwise, we will receive a number of soulless messages and see countless empty presentations, which, to be honest, it's already happening today. We didn't have to wait for generative AI to get this kind of stuff in the workplace and in personal lives too. So AI is still about humans at the center. General AI intelligence is still not here. And even when it will be here, there will be space for us to bring sparks of genius, creativity, craziness that make the human mind so beautiful. Thanks for watching, and feel free to share and comment the video down below.